I'm confused. And I would love someone. I mean, I want to be open-minded here. I'd love to hear what's going on here. And I think this is a minority. I understand that it's a minority. I don't even understand how there's any of you, though. I keep hearing, whether it's friends, colleagues, radio callers, whatever, I keep hearing, I'd like to see Steph Curry finish his career somewhere else so that he would have a chance to win. And I cannot understand that. I don't understand it. I want to understand it.
I totally understand it.
You understand it?
Yes.
Can you explain it to me?
Yes. What they're doing is they're projecting their feelings onto Steph Curry.
Oh, you're psychoanalyzing.
Yeah, to me, it's a classic case of projection. So you're looking at a situation, Steph Curry going gently into that good night. I think there was Yates, if I'm not mistaken, with the famous poem.
T.J. Yates, he's a backup quarterback.
No, it's Dylan, maybe Dylan Yates. I have it wrong.
Anyway.
Just hit me on the text line. That was the old Low Neal bit. But he is basically going gently into that good night.
Dylan Thomas?
Thank you, Dylan Thomas.
Where the Yates
Justin
come
Thomas.
From? Where the Yates come from?
Out of my back pocket,
all right,
apparently.
Anyway, yeah.
Fans don't want him to go out like that. And Steph doesn't want to go out like that, but he might be more willing to do that here than fans are. So fans are projecting their frustration for Steph's situation onto Steph.
Okay, that's an interesting answer, and maybe that's one of the answers. There was literally a person who said to me earlier this week, and they didn't make it about Steph. They made it about them. I want to see Steph compete. You can't do it here. I'd really like to see him finish somewhere else. And I'm not questioning anybody's credentials. You don't need credentials to be a fan. You get to eat whatever flavor nachos you want. There's no rules, but I'm curious. I'd love to understand how on God's green earth a Warrior fan could ever actively want Steph Curry to play somewhere else. To the point where this stupid thing over the weekend, well, Brad Stevens has called the Warriors, and then they're superimposed. There's Steph in a Celtics jersey, and everybody starts freaking out because that picture was complete. It was made to piss you off. Like, that's why it was made. I don't know, nor do I care if Brad Stevens ever called the Warriors. That's a non-story. I don't want to continue to have the conversation that you and I have had so many times about how the Warriors would never do this. I know the Warriors would never do this. I know that. I'm not worried about it. But I like people, and I like understanding where people are coming from. And that is a characteristic that I can't understand. Why a Warrior fan would, quote, want to see Steph Curry compete at such a high level that you want him to play somewhere else. 415, I want the Warriors to trade Steph because him and Yaxel are probably the only ones with positive trade value. The Warriors aren't going to win with Steph, so they might as well get a return for their asset.
Okay. I see that part of it, but you're not going to get the return for the, quote, asset. You're never going to recoup full value because he's going to be 39 and his value to this franchise is tenfold what you're paying him. He's worth more than $60 million a year. He's probably worth closer to $600 million a year for this organization. Now, that's an overinflation sensation, but he's worth more than 60 no matter how well you do on the floor. So you're not going to get even close to full value for him because that doesn't exist.
That's another good point. Every time somebody, you'd get 4 ones. You're
not getting 4 ones.
I don't think you would. I don't think you get 3 ones. And then here's the other thing, and here's the part I can't understand. For instance, so that text I just read, this is the part where I feel like you can meet people in the middle. If you are so activated by the Warriors winning at a high level again as quickly as humanly possible, could you make a business point a strategic point that the right thing to do right now would be to trade Steph Curry. All right, I guess you can do that. I find you to be a somewhat unemotional human being, but that's fine. You're allowed to be unemotional if you want. Some people aren't whimsical about sports. I like feature articles. You know what I mean? I was just reading Mike Silver's feature article about Dre Greenlaw. It's damn fascinating. He was super, super unhappy in Denver about 4 seconds after he got there, and he couldn't wait to get back. And him sharing the stories of what was going on inside his mind and body throughout his year in Denver, I find it interesting. You may not care unless he gets 8 tackles on Sunday. Fine. That's you. If Steph Curry staying with Golden State means we wait 2 to 3 more years, good on you. I'm cool with that. But I guess I'm pushing this even a little bit of a step further. It seems like some of you are so whimsical about sports. In other words, you love Steph Curry so much that you would rather watch him play in May or June in another jersey than watch him struggle a little bit with the Golden State Warriors. And that's the thing that I can't understand.
Well, if you have that belief, then to me, you're not really a Golden State Warrior fan. You're a Steph Curry fan, and that's fine. You can be a fan of whatever you want. I think about some of the classic examples of this happening. Karl Malone is a Laker for 1 year because he wanted to win a championship, and they made it to the NBA Finals and didn't win a championship in 2004. Were Jazz fans who loved Karl as a Jazz, were they thinking, yeah, Lakers, let's get one for Karl? I don't know how many of those fans actually exist.
I mean, that's a great point.
And Karl never won in Utah.
Okay. Great point. Imagine it, y'all. Steph goes somewhere else and wins a ring. You think that would be joyful? I find that to be an incredibly painful thought.
Oh, yeah.
Are you all kidding me? I want Steph to be on the Spurs because I love Steph so much that I want to watch him play really good basketball with the Spurs. I don't want to watch him sit here with Malavi Leon. Sorry for the stray. Are you kidding me? Steph at midcourt with confetti falling, celebrating with a bunch of players who've never put on a Warrior jersey, holding the Larry O'Brien trophy in the air as he passes LeBron with number 5 in a Spurs uniform.
Yeah.
You find that fun? Oh my God, it makes me want to vomit.
Completely.
The idea of it is absolutely disgusting in my mind. I don't even want to think about that. And again, you're right. Y'all get to fan however you want. That to me does not sound fun. I have no interest in Steph Curry celebrating in another jersey.
Nor do I. And if he wants to go play somewhere else, then fine. It might become my second favorite team, depending on where he lands. Like certain teams, absolutely not. I still couldn't root for you. But if he wanted to go back to Charlotte, for example, he had this draw about finishing it up where his dad got it all started. I get that. I still would be heartbroken because he's a Golden State Warrior, but at least that would be non-threatening and it would make sense from that emotional standpoint. But if he just goes out and finds the best team running and pulls a LeBron and plays for the minimum just so he can win one somewhere else, that would be gutting to me.
I hate it. I completely hate the idea.
And the other piece, too, is if you want to make a trade like this, go to your NBA trade machine and figure out who you might be able to get.
Good luck.
And you can get De'Aaron Fox and his contract, which has 4 more years, which would be maybe the second longest 4 years in America.
By the way, they'd need to give you more. We're not there yet. The salaries aren't there yet.
And Keldon Johnson, who is an expiring this upcoming year. That actually works, but Keldon Johnson is the kind of player you'd want to pay. So now you have De'Aaron Fox making 50 going towards 65 and Keldon Johnson, and that's kind of the majority of your core going forward, and you lose the chef. Makes no sense.
Well, I don't even need it to make sense. I guess, fandom doesn't make sense. I don't know why all of us care so much about sports. It doesn't make sense. So I don't need it to make sense. This is all in the fun zone. But I guess I'm just trying to connect. I'd love to hear why people would think that would be fun. In general, I think we say things about people when they leave. This is true in sports and in real life. You ever do this, right? When everybody leaves for the summer back when you're in school, keep in touch. Everybody would write it in the yearbook.
KIT, yep.
Did you?
I had some.
Did you keep in touch?
I was usually pretty good about that, but in general, not really. Not really.
So let me give you two more recent examples. Players we love here in the Bay Area. Did you? Did you follow them? Did you follow Kevon Looney's year last year? Were you, quote, rooting for him?
Well, when he played, he almost never played. Same thing with Buttard. Buttard went down there to Atlanta and never played. So you follow it, but not as closely.
The only reason, there's one guy we followed last year when he left, and it's because all of us...
My name is Buddy.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't him.
Hi, this is Jonathan Kuminga.
Because we had a 4-year argument going on, and everybody wanted to be right.
And we were right, and then the next night we were wrong.
Exactly.
That thing was like a table tennis match.
And it still is, and he's still not on a team. Oh, they're waiting for LeBron. Well, now that's been almost 2 weeks, and he's still not on a team. I think he might end up on the Lakers, but I have no idea. I don't know what's going on there. But that's the only reason we watched Jonathan Kuminga, because people wanted to be right, and they wanted to gather evidence so that they could yell at people the very next day. How about Deebo in Washington last year? Were you rooting for him? Were you grinding on the Washington Commanders to see how Deebo did? Here's what I'm saying. I would largely argue, I'm not saying that we're not still fans of these people. We certainly are. We don't forget what they did here. But I don't really think when someone leaves to play somewhere else, I don't think we care. I think we say we care the same way we tell people we're going to try to stop by. But we don't. I'm not watching another team. I don't care who plays for it. If it ends up on my TV, red zone pops up and Deebo's running down the left sideline, good for you, Deebo. Am I going to stand up and pump my fist? Like hell I am. He's a Commander, and I don't care. I don't get this idea that on some level you get to still have the same experience you've been having, Steph related, over the last 15 years. You think on some level that would be the same if he was wearing another jersey. I would find it much more likely to be painful and regrettable. But then also I would force myself to be apathetic. I'm out here rooting for the Spurs now?
You're apathetic, but then you're watching whatever your TV highlight show is, and up pops the highlight of Curry was in the zone, 11 threes as the Spurs went out and took down the Hornets, and Curry with 39 and his biggest game since he left the Warriors. So there's a lot of that would still be washing back, and I'm with you where I'd want to be apathetic, but I still would watch, and whatever team he went to, there'd be more national TV and more Amazon Prime games and whatnot, and so you still would be surrounded by the content, but it would be hard-pressed for me to seek it out because of the hurt that would go with it.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Sports Station, the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries, always live on the free Odyssey app, and coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Hey, if y'all like this, because these are some fun texts that are coming in. If you dig this, then good on you. Good for you. I just don't, I did not go, ooh, Clay is on tonight. Let's watch the Mavericks. And I'm going to pull for Clay.
I did that in the beginning, but then the novelty kind of wears off. I
mean, for a night, for 2 nights? Then he comes back here. Remember that night?
That was a great night.
It was a great night.
With the captain's hats.
Captain's hats, and Clay started hitting a bunch of shots, and all of a sudden we went, this doesn't feel very good. I don't like that Clay is shoving 3-point shots in Steph Curry's face. And then Steph Curry went off. Thank you, DeAnthony Melton, for your assist. And the Warriors came back and won the game, and it felt great that Clay lost. You didn't like... So I don't know. I'm trying to figure all this out. We're getting people being like, I watched... I see you, 650. I watched Montana in KC. Okay, you watched him. Did you root for him? Maybe. I remember when Joe came back and kicked the Niners' ass. That wasn't fun.
Right.
I didn't like that at all. So...
And every departure is different, obviously. The Jordan Poole one, initially you're all locked in to see how great he's going to be, and he put up good numbers, and then he was in Washington again, and then he went to New Orleans, and I mean, is he still in New Orleans, or is he somewhere else? It all kind of fades away the further you get from the breakup moment. Steph would be different because he won't play that long, and also it's Steph Curry, for crying out loud. But even Kevin Durant, it's like, all right, KD, you want to leave, I get it. It didn't work out in the very, very end, and he's gone from spot to another spot, and it's hard to keep track. And he's not a fan favorite, but anytime anybody leaves, you do have that initial novelty of, I wonder how it's going to work out for him.
Well, I mean, we did it live on the air yesterday. You weren't back yet, but Grandy and I were sitting here right around this time, and guess who came up to the plate with a runner at second and rocketed a nice line drive into left center field? Your boy.
My boy?
All right.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
First at bat, RBI single.
He had a couple hits, right?
Second at bat, RBI double.
And they're cheering him. They're going crazy.
Absolutely. And you look up at the TV and you're like, dude, good for you. That's literally how long it lasts, though. Good for you. That's it.
In the playoffs, when we're watching them actually play playoff baseball, and if he's up, I'll be rooting for him to get a hit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I won't be rooting for Philly to win particularly, but
playoff baseball. When my team's not in playoff baseball, I'm looking for a football game. It's October.
Yeah,
I'm not rooting for anything other than the Dodgers to lose. That's the only when the Giants aren't in it. That's what I root for. So yeah, I'll root for Luis, provided that he's playing the Dodgers. If he's playing somebody else, I'm not going to have the TV on. Unless it's one of those awful Tuesday nights where they only play baseball.
Well, and the beauty of the early rounds is you get games at like 9:50 and 11:15 and 2:05, like these crazy times. They stagger them throughout the day. So it'll be something for us to watch here in the midweek.